I thought my balance was fine. I could stand on one leg, no problem. I'd already passed that test on this channel. So when my physical therapist taped 3 strips of tape on the floor in a Y shape and asked me to stand in the middle on one leg and reach my other foot out along each strip as far as I could without losing balance or touching down, I expected to just breeze through it. 2 directions, no problem. The third, reaching my foot backward and out to the side, my standing leg wobbled, my hip dipped, and I came up nearly 10 centimeters short of the other side without ever noticing that gap in real life. Turns out a static balance, the kind you test standing still, and dynamic balance, the kind you actually use every time you step sideways to avoid something or turn to grab a door. Those are not the same skill, and mine had a hole in it I'd never once suspected. So today, the test, in a version you can set up at home with nothing but tape and a tape measure. Why one direction can quietly lag behind the others after 50, and the exercises that started closing my gap. Welcome back to Well Past 50, where 50 and beyond is a second athletic peak worth training for, not a decline to be managed quietly. Every claim on this channel is backed by real, cited research linked in the description, never my opinion dressed up as science. This self-test series has already covered standing balance, chair stand power, grip strength, stair climb, heart response, aerobic stamina, posture, and hip stability. Every one of those was static or single direction. You hold a position, or you move in one straight line. Today is different. This is the first test on the channel for dynamic, multi-directional balance, the kind clinics actually use with athletes, adapted here for a living room floor. Here's the next 19 minutes. First, the test itself, set up with nothing but tape. Second, why it's genuinely useful, including what it's shown to correlate with in research on adults over 50. Third, why one direction specifically tends to fall behind after 50, quietly, without you noticing in daily life. And fourth, the exercise protocol based on published research that's been closing my own gap. Subscribe if you want the rest of this series. Always real sources, never fear for its own sake. Let's see if you have a gap you don't know about yet. Clinics run this with a piece of equipment that has 3 sliding measuring arms in a Y shape. You don't need that. Here's the version my therapist showed me, adapted for a living room floor with nothing but painter's tape and a tape measure. Step 1. Lay 3 strips of tape on the floor meeting at a single point, like 3 spokes, one pointing straight ahead of you, one angled back and out to one side, one angled back and out to the other side. If you want the real clinical angles, the 2 back strips sit about 135 degrees from the front one, but honestly, 3 roughly even directions spread out like a peace sign is close enough for a home version. Step 2. Stand at the center point on one leg. Keep your hands on your hips if you can, though holding a wall or countertop nearby for safety is completely fine while you're learning this. Step 3. Reach your other foot out along the front strip as far as you can. Tap the tape lightly with your toes. Don't put weight down, don't lose your balance. Then bring it back to center without touching the floor with that foot the whole time. Note roughly how far you reached, using the tape measure or just a visual mark. Step 4. Repeat the same reach along each of the back 2 strips, one at a time, always returning to center on that same standing leg before switching directions. Step 5. Switch your standing leg and repeat all 3 directions on the other side. What you're comparing isn't really a score against some universal chart. It's your two sides against each other, front to front, one side against the other side. A small difference is completely normal. What's worth noticing is a reach that's clearly and consistently shorter on one side in one specific direction, especially if your standing leg wobbles or your hip dips the moment you reach that way, which is exactly what happened to me on the back and to the side direction. The one direction most of us almost never move in during a normal day. This test has real research behind it in exactly this age group, a 2019 study measuring test. Retest reliability in older adults found it excellent. Run it twice on different days, and you get nearly identical results. And it was significantly linked to how people performed on several tests already covered on this channel: the timed up and go, the 8-foot up and go, the 30-second chair stand, and simple one-leg standing balance. In plain terms, a gap in this test isn't an isolated finding. It tends to travel with real, everyday mobility. So why does a gap in one direction on a homemade tape test deserve real attention instead of a shrug? Start with what dynamic balance actually is. Standing still on one leg, the test we already covered on this channel, mostly tests whether you can hold a position. This test is different. It tests whether you can control your body while actively moving your center of gravity toward the edge of your base of support in a specific direction and pull it back under control. That's a much closer match to what actually causes a fall in real life, not standing still, but stepping sideways around an obstacle, turning to answer someone, catching yourself when a rug slips. The research backs up why this specific test earns a spot in a self-test series that already includes chair stand, timed up and go, and one-leg balance. In that same 2019 study, this test's results were significantly correlated with every one of those in adults over 50. That matters practically. It means a gap you find here isn't some isolated, meaningless number. It's connected to the exact same mobility and fall-related qualities the rest of this series has already been measuring from different angles. I want to be precise here about what the research does and doesn't say for our age group. You'll find headlines online about a specific centimeter cutoff for injury risk or a specific percentage score. Those numbers come from studies on young athletes, football and basketball players, not from research on adults over 50. And I'm not going to borrow a number from a different population and pass it off as validated for us. What is validated for adults over 50 is the reliability of the test itself and its real connection to the other mobility markers this channel already tracks. That's a solid enough reason on its own to pay attention to a consistent gap. If one direction quietly fell behind for you the way it did for me, there's a genuine reason, and it isn't random bad luck. Think about an ordinary day. You walk forward, you sit down, you stand up, you walk forward again. Almost none of that ordinary movement asks your body to reach backward and to the side while balancing on one leg. The exact direction that gave me trouble. The muscles, joints, and balance reflexes that handle that specific movement pattern simply don't get practiced day after day, year after year, while the forward walking pattern stays constantly reinforced. That's not a flaw in you. It's just what happens when a movement disappears from your routine. The body doesn't maintain the skill in directions it never uses. Add to that something true of balance in general as we age. The the systems involved, what your eyes see, what your inner ear senses, what your joints and muscles feel underfoot. Naturally respond a little slower and integrate a little less smoothly with time, and that shows up first and most in the movement patterns you rely on least, because those are the ones with the least practice keeping them sharp. None of that is permanent. Unlike the years of forward-only walking that got you here, this is directly trainable, which is the entire premise of the protocol I'm about to walk you through, built specifically to retrain movement in the directions daily life leaves out. Now the part I actually did. 4 exercises based on a published home exercise program that measurably improved reach distance in every direction of this test after 8 weeks in a randomized trial. I'm not guessing at what might help. This is the approach the research actually tested. Move 1. Practice the reach itself. Using the same tape lines from the test, spend a few minutes reaching slowly and with control in your weaker direction specifically. Not rushing for distance, focusing on a smooth, controlled reach and an equally controlled return to center. This kind of task-specific practice is a core piece of the program behind this protocol. Move 2. Standing hip extension. Hold on to a wall or chair, stand tall and kick one leg straight back behind you without leaning your trunk forward to cheat the movement, squeezing at the top. Slowly lower. This strengthens the muscles that control exactly the backward-reaching direction most people, including me, struggle with. Move 3. Side-to-side weight shifts. Stand with feet hip-width apart, near support, and shift your weight slowly onto one leg until the other foot barely touches the ground. Hold for a second, then shift to the other side. This retrains the sideways control that a lifetime of forward-only walking lets go quiet. Move 4. Diagonal step touches. Take a controlled step diagonally backward with one foot, tap it down, then step back to center, like a slow-motion version of the exact reach direction from the test. Repeat to the other diagonal. This is the most direct rehearsal of the whole multi-directional pattern this protocol is built around. A sensible way to start: 2 to 3 sessions a week, 8 to 12 controlled reps of each move per side, always prioritizing control over speed or distance. Retest the tape test every couple of weeks, the same way you'd retest any of the other self-tests in this series. My gap in that backward side direction has closed noticeably over about 6 weeks. Not gone completely, but close enough now that I actually trust that side under me. 3 mistakes worth heading off. 1. Reaching for maximum distance instead of maximum control. A big wobbly reach that nearly makes you fall teaches your body the opposite of what you want. Slow and controlled beats far and shaky every time. 2. Only practicing the direction you're already good at because it feels more satisfying. The entire point is training the direction that's lagging, not padding a strength you already have. 3. Skipping the support at first because standing on one leg near a wall feels unnecessary. Using support while you're learning a new movement pattern isn't cheating. It's exactly how the underlying research protocol was actually run. A quick, honest safety note: this is educational content, not medical advice. If you have dizziness, a recent fall with injury, recent hip, knee, or ankle surgery, or any balance problem that makes standing on one leg unsafe without support, talk to your doctor or a physical therapist before trying this test or these exercises. Always keep a wall or sturdy chair within reach while you're learning either one. Stop immediately if you feel sharp pain or real instability, as opposed to the normal mild wobble of practicing something new. Let's bring it together. Tape 3 lines on the floor, stand on one leg at the center, and reach as far as you can with control in each direction. The gap between your two sides, not some universal chart, is what actually matters. That gap is connected in the research to the same mobility markers this whole series has been tracking. Chair stand, timed up and go, one leg balance. It shows up after 50 because ordinary daily movement quietly stops practicing certain directions, not because you're simply getting older. And a research-backed protocol, 3 to 4 moves, 2 to 3 times a week, has been shown to close exactly this kind of gap. No fear, no permanent verdict, just tape, a tape measure, and a direction worth training back. Set up the tape test tonight and tell me in the comments which direction gave you the most trouble, front or one of the two back corners. I'll go first. Mine was reaching back and to the side on my right leg, the direction I never once used in a normal day. Subscribe to Well Past 50 so you don't miss the rest of this self-test series, and I'll see you in the next one.